All right. Hello, everybody. We are live with Connected Community Health Support. I am your host for this Friday morning, Jacob Carroll, and we are on day 68 of our full body exercise program for weight loss. It can be performed in your home, no equipment. All you need is a little bit of space and 45 minutes of your free time. So if you've been sticking along with us, we're coming toward the end of the week here. And we are working on the fitness pillar this week. So talking about fitness, our blog is going to be about fitness. We're giving you guys all some tips to improve your fitness routine and help you live a happier and healthier life as always. And always here to give you this great stream. And, I just want to say, if you're finding us for the first time, wondering what are we doing, why are we doing this? And we set out a goal to make health and fitness more accessible, especially during the pandemic and everything like that. We're a few grad school friends, and we decided we just wanted to give back, try to do something good for, people out there. We know starting an exercise program and things can be intimidating. A lot of people don't know where to start. They don't want to spend the money on expensive gym memberships, get stuck in those, monthly programs, or, maybe it's about the transportation, the time constraints, whatever it may be. We are here to give you a body weight workout in the comfort of your own home. No equipment needed. And I just want to say, if you're finding this for the first time, we are on day 68, week 21, believe it or not, of this program. So we have been progressing right along here, building up to a point where we're currently working the 45 seconds of work to 45 seconds of rest in today's week. But we've really been ramping this up from day one, really progressing week by week. Session by session, building up to this point. Just to put that in perspective, on day one, we were working with 20 seconds of work to 40 seconds of rest, half-hour workouts, 3 days a week. Now we're going 4 days a week, 45-minute workouts, and, we're in 45 seconds of work, 45 seconds of rest, and we were even as big as 65 seconds of work to 25 seconds of rest last week. So if you're looking to kind of see what our program it's all about, maybe you want to check out some of our previous workouts as well, check us out at connectedchs.com. Fourth Dimension, reporting for fitness. Love it. Good to see you here this morning, Fourth. But yeah, we're going to get started here in just a second. Just want to go over some last things. And first of all, always consult your physician before starting an exercise program. We don't want anybody getting hurt here. We want everybody being safe, healthy, enjoying the workout today. Happy face. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you in here as well. We're going to be getting into the warm-up here in just a few seconds. So now that you guys know about the program, whoever's watching this live recorded, I know Fourth and Happy Face, you guys know all about this by now. You guys have been here since day one. I always skip the gym first week of the year. I can't deal with the crowds. I also skip weeks 2 to 52 of the new year, but still looking for an excuse for those. Hey, I love a happy face, but hey, you don't need an excuse if you're showing up to this great bodyweight exercise program here. So, but I like that one happy face. But all right. We're going to get into the workout here now. Working on the fitness pillar. Again, I'm going to be talking a little bit about movement patterns. I might give a few. Hey, me too. More comfortable working out in your own home, right? And sorry, lost my train of thought. So we're going to be talking about movement patterns today at the end of the workout. Might give a few tips about this, but I really want to go in depth, kind of telling you a little bit about why we choose the movements that we do in this current program, how you might be able to program for yourself in the future, and generally just a little bit more fitness tips. I know Adam was going over the warm-up, Seth going over SMART goals. I kind of touched on the physical activity recommendations on Tuesday. Now we're going to finish it up with some movement pattern talk. So follow along with me, and I will start you off through this warm-up for today. Pause. Let me just get this timer set up, and we're all good to go. So without further ado, 5-minute warm-up starting now. So first, move of the warm-up. I know you've all seen this one before. One of my favorite hip warm-ups, we're going to be doing some open and close the gate, opening the leg out, bringing it back in. The same thing, just getting this internal and external rotation of the hip. If you're like me, you might be falling over a little bit while you're going through this one, but great way to modify this one is you can just put your hand on the wall, use this to kind of support, help yourself find balance, and just keep moving through this hip range of motion. Same thing, it's early in the morning. If you're watching this live, maybe you're watching it recorded, any time of the day, whatever the case may be, we're going to spend a little bit of extra time getting these hips moving. And also, some of you might be wondering, if you've been here for a while, why do I not have a lot of static stretching in the warm-up? Why don't I have, any tricep stretches, some, more static stretches in this warm-up? And, a lot of studies have shown, some benefit with, the cool down of the workout. But, we don't want to overstretch these muscles. They're often at an optimal length to produce force, produce power. So many times my warm-up will consist of movement patterns more so than stretching, kind of just get the blood flowing to these muscles, get things woken up. We don't, unless you're experiencing some tightness for a specific reason, it might be better to just use, especially in the warm-up, really focus on just getting the body moving instead of stretching it out. But, when the body has already been working, cooling it down, that static stretching can have some good importance there. But, all right, hip circles are done. I won't bore you so much with this small stuff, but we're going to be doing open, doing a rotation, T-spine rotation. I like to stay in a strong, stable position and moving one arm to the wall while keeping the other arm stationary. Now, I know we were going to be talking about movement patterns today. I'm talking about the basic human movements, which I'm going to be getting to towards the end of the stream. But a little bit of teaser. This is one of our basic human movement patterns. Rotation, something our body was designed to do, is incorporating a lot of things that we do. Requires you to be able to rotate the junk, but still find stability in the lower body, still be controlled. Pretty much stabilizing one portion of your body and being able to still move and express force in the upper portion of your body. And has some strong connections to, primal movements, even movements that when we were first learning to move for the first time as infants, we mimic a lot of these things in these basic human movement patterns. Not in the same exact way, but still fairly similar, but we'll be going more into detail that at the end. A little bit of tease now, maybe hopefully get you to stick around for the end when I go into these movement patterns in greater detail. So we got the mid-back warmed up, we got the hips warmed up a little bit. Now let's work on the neck. I like to do neck circles. One thing that really helps me kind of get a full range of motion here is just kind of looking in a circle, trying to look as wide as I can all the way up to the sky, trying to look behind me, looking down on my toes, and just really rotating through all the range of motions that the head and neck can do. I like moving a little bit slow through here, but same thing, find a pace that is comfortable for you. I'm going to finish one more here, then I'm going to switch sides if you haven't already. The head and neck have a variety of different movement patterns, so it's important to really try to get them all at once. Something just kind of moving the head through that full range of motion, getting all these muscles warmed up. Especially if you're like me, you'll come into this stream early this morning. I always sleep on my side. My head's always turned to one way, so I'm usually a little bit stiff, moving a certain range of motion. So I always like to spend some time in my workouts, especially in the morning, to get the head and neck moving. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you are as well. Warm-up is going to be coming to an end here shortly. Just got one more move for you all. Sorry. Timer started going. I'm running a little bit behind, but we got some shoulder circles important. Getting that upper body warmed up. We're going to be just drawing some small circles in the air moving forward. Since the shoulder actually has the largest range of motion of any joint in our body. So really important to warm up the shoulder joint and make sure it's ready for any pushing and pulling that we do in today's workout. Teaser alert, pushing and pulling, also part of the basic human movements. Same thing, I'm going to be going into detail of why these are considered basic movements, how these movements relate to everyday life. I'm going to be going the opposite direction now, still going small circles. The research has identified, key movements that have similarities between activities we do in everyday life. They respect our body's anatomical design, how our joints are positioned and structured. We'll really open it up wide now. And these also show similarities to how we learn movements during early childhood development, so such as standing for the first time, crawling, moving. These basic human movement patterns that can be mimicked through exercise also have similarities between these developing movements, believe it or not. And we go in the opposite direction now, finishing up here with the shoulder warm-up. We really want to get these shoulders, as I mentioned, has the largest range of motion in the body. Spending a little bit of extra time here really working through this large range of motion that the shoulders have. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling warmed up. I hope you are all as well. We're going to get into the movement here. Our first move, remember 45 seconds of work, 45 seconds of rest. I'm going to be showing a few different variations, so follow along with me. So first movement pattern is the deadlift or floor touch. Spoiler alert, another basic human movement pattern. So just being able to bend over, bring the knees down into this flat back position. You're wondering why this is considered a basic movement pattern. We should have the ability to still be able to bend at the hips, bend at the waist, and still be able to maintain correct spinal posture, neutral spinal posture without bending the back. So that's one of the reasons why the hinge is a basic human movement. But we're going to be working on this, reaching down to the ground, work within your range of motion. If you can go all the way down to the ground, that's great. If not, you can just even keep the hands on the hips. Slowly move down. Another variation, you can have the foot up on a couch, chair, whatever it may be. And same thing, just reaching down to the ground. Pretty much the same variation, just single leg. So 45 seconds of work, 45 seconds of rest. We get started right now. So I just want to put this up on the, sorry, technical difficulties. Just want to make sure I have it up there for you guys in case I am not running on the right time frame and you guys can see all the workouts in case I mess up. So 45 seconds work, 45 seconds rest. Start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And then I'm going to be moving through this double-legged variation. And then trying to keep that neutral spine while still being able to bend at the hips. You know, saying, oh, why is this considered a fundamental movement pattern or a basic human movement? You know, think about it. Every time you have to reach over, maybe you got to tie your shoe, pick something up off the ground. Even something is when you are sitting in a chair, even bending over but still keeping the spine neutral, still a hinge pattern, bending at the waist but still keeping the spine neutral. 3, 2, 1. Great job. So the hinge pattern, being able to dissociate between the upper body and the lower body, being able to stabilize both of these movement patterns while they're kind of individually doing different things. Our body requires multiple joint coordination, so the hinge effectively does so and also helps us maintain a neutral spine position, which is important for a variety of different movements. Next exercise here, we have the toe touch into the fly. So this one, we're going to sit a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, arms out to the side, and you're going to be reaching down towards that toe and then pulling the arm back up. We're going to get going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And I want to show a variation here for this one. If it's hard to hold this position here, you can modify. You could reach down. Sorry, I'm messing up the modification, but you can reach down to the toe, kind of support the body weight with the hand on the hip. Great way to modify, still getting this pulling motion, this reverse fly motion, which is really the main focus of this exercise. The same thing, you can make it a little bit more challenging by coming back up to this hinge position or flat back position and then reaching down to the toe. 3, 2, 1. Great job with that. 2 moves down, third move coming up. We have a double pull to press. We're kind of going into an overhead pull motion or vertical pull motion. So you can do this on your knees or standing up. Essentially, you're just going across the body. Sometimes it's explained as unsheathing a sword, coming from thing, bringing out the sword and coming up above the head diagonally. When you finish, you want this thumb pointing back towards the wall. So a little bit of rotation to the shoulders moving. We're going to be going both at the same time. We're going to be going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And same thing, you could try both at a time, the same thing. You can also go alternating. That's fine too. Same thing. You'll be getting twice as many reps going both together. So find that variation that works good for you. Maybe you start this way and then towards the end, or maybe whenever you start fatiguing a little bit, you switch over, go alternating for a few reps. That's perfectly fine and a great way to still keep that heart rate up and still keep moving, even when you're getting fatigued, is moving down to that modified movement. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right, we got our side step to elbow, a little bit of dance move. Definitely getting the body moving with this one. So let me stepping out to the side, in, out to the knee, out, in, out to the knee, out, in, out to the knee. Same thing, using some core, coordinating the upper body and the lower body together. Also is going to force you to kind of load into that hip in the lateral motion. As you kind of step out, body weight is going to be shifting in the lateral plane, which is that side to side. And same thing when we switch and side halfway through. So it's out, in, out to the knee, out, in, out to the knee. We're going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Out, in, out to the knee, out, in, out to the knee. Same thing with this one. You control the pace. You control the intensity. You don't got to go all the way to the elbow with the knee every time. Same thing, you just go out, in, out, out, in, out. Just bringing that knee up. You're still going to be using the core, still going to be using the elbow. We're going to switch sides, out, in, out to the knee, out, in, out to the knee. Find that variation that works for you. This move can be pretty intensive, definitely very aerobic. A lot of constant movement in this one. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Great job, everybody. Done with that. We are moving into the lateral squat. The same thing. We can just do a body weight squat, another one of the fundamental movement patterns. So are the push to pull. So are those core moves. They call it brace sometimes for core moves in the research, but essentially the same thing, just controlling the core. But lateral squat, a little bit shoulder width apart. You're just kind of leaning, still doing a squat, but kind of on one leg. So you can see from the side, here's me doing a body weight squat. Here's me doing a lateral squat. I follow the same kind of movement pattern. I'm just leaning one side to the other side. We're going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Same thing, you can try either variation, depending on your previous history. Sometimes this lateral squat can bother people's knees. You don't want anybody getting hurt, if you're feeling pain in this movement, shut it down. Try a different variation, or maybe just stop altogether. Really, our body isn't going to be in pain for no reason. It's pretty smart. So usually something is happening to cause that pain, and we don't want to exacerbate that pain by trying to push through it in the exercise. Listen to your body. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Lateral squats. All done. We got push-ups coming up next. Sorry, thought something came in. So for push-ups, you can go from the wall, from the floor, from the chair. It doesn't matter to me. You got to find the variation that's going to work for you. So whether you're on the wall, the further the feet are away, the harder it's going to be. The main goal of this is just push yourself away from the object using these, chest and back muscles. So same thing, you can be going from the edge of the couch. That'll be a little bit harder than the wall, but not as hard as the floor, or you can go down to your knees, your toes. But we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Something really important to find the variation that works for you. And same thing, it might be different workout to workout, might be different set to set. Same thing, maybe you start doing them on the wall, then maybe you move to your knees, maybe going from your knees back to the wall, whatever it may be. Finding the variation that works for you is very important. This is also probably one of the most muscularly demanding exercises of the workout. Doing that push for 45 seconds can be pretty difficult. And another suggestion, if it starts getting difficult, you could just hold at a certain height, maybe just pushing isometrically from the ground. But 3, 2, 1, we are done. All right, getting to the home stretch here, the first circuit through. We got alternating shoulder extension. Well, really it's alternating flexion and extension. Flexion, moving the shoulder above the head, or just essentially moving up extension, moving them behind. So we're doing a little bit of both here. I mean, that bent over hinge position, and you're going to be alternating thumb up going overhead, and you're going to be alternating through. Same thing, we can also modify going one arm at a time, whatever is comfortable for you. 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm going to be going with the alternating variation. Same thing, really encourage you to find that variation that works for you. Hitting some motion that shoulder was designed to, important ranges of motion, moving into flexion and extension. Especially for the extension movement, going behind. This is a motion that I don't have a great range of motion in, so this is great for me to incorporate into my workout routine, so I can kind of develop some more range of motion, some more strength. Moving into that position. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right, last move. We got the inchworm. You might want a chair for this variation. So we can do this 3 ways. From the wall, same thing. You're going to be kind of in that push-up position from the wall. You're going to be walking the feet out to a spot that's a little bit challenging, but still comfortable. Doesn't feel like you're going to fall. And bringing the feet back in. We can also do this variation from a chair. Same thing, you're gonna have the hands on the chair. You're gonna walk the feet out and then tiptoe them back in. Or we can try from the ground. And if you're trying from the ground, what this is gonna look like, a little bit more advanced here. You're not going to get a lot of reps, but still same movement pattern, whether you're doing it on the floor, on the chair, on the wall. You're just going to be walking these hands out. Same thing, getting that push-up position. But now you're walking the hands back, so a little bit different from those wall and chair variations we're going to get going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And then we're going from the ground. I want you to choose a variation that works for you. So I'm walking the hands out. I'm walking them back in, standing up tall to finish the rep. Walking the hands out, walking them back in, forcing us to stabilize through the shoulders, being able to bend at the hips, also using the core in this bottom position to get back and get to and from the ground. So a lot going on here with this movement. Pretty advanced stuff. Here we go. We got 5 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. First round through. Great job, everybody watching this live or recorded. We got 2 more rounds going through. And remember, we're going to be talking a little bit about the movement patterns, why we're using these movements in this workout, why it's structured the way we do, how they relate to everyday life in respect to our body's anatomical design. So stick around for that at the end. Might be giving a little bit of spoilers throughout the stream today, but just want to give a heads up about that. Got the hinge pattern coming up here. Same thing, going to be bending down to the ground with a single leg variation, or we could go from the dual leg variation. We're going to be going 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Bending down to the ground and coming back up, working that range motion that's comfortable for you. And the same thing, you can do that alternating, putting that leg up on the chair, on the floor. Keep moving through that. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. So you got a message. My lateral squat needs practice, feels a bit unsteady, so can't get a steady rhythm. Thank you for writing that in the chat for it. I'm going to be going over a few more tips, some things that helped me. This is a pretty hard movement pattern to learn. So thank you for asking. I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people as well, because this is a difficult move for sure. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Got our toe touch flies coming up next. Remember, this was going to be same thing, finding that deadlift hinge position. It's getting incorporated in a lot of these movements. So I'm finding a strong, flat back. Same thing, reaching down to the toe, or same thing you can modify. Put the forearm on right above the knee, and same thing, you can go one arm at a time. You're still going to be getting this pulling motion, this reverse fly motion. We're bending over to resist gravity, give yourself a little bit of resistance there. So we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Same thing, I'm reaching down to the ground. The same thing, you don't have to get there every time. I just want to really specify that. Don't feel. Same thing, it might feel more comfortable. You just have to reach down towards that angle, just a slight rotation. You don't have to move the upper body at all. Same thing, if you want to reach down to the toes, you can, but same thing, everybody doesn't have the same range of motion. It's not, specifically necessary to get this pulling range of motion. That's really the focus of this exercise. So just wanted to give that tip in here. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really great job here. We got our double pull to press, or in physical therapy, sometimes they call us a D1, D2. We're coming across the body like you're unsheathing a sword. The same thing, we're going to be going both from the same time, or alternating, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. I'm going to be doing this from a tall kneeling position this time. And same thing, if you got a hard floor, anything like that, grab a pillow. Or if you got a foam pad, those are great to actually offer a little bit more stability as well, or force you to have a little bit more stability as well. But we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. They moving overhead, really going that full range of motion. The same thing, we all don't have the same range of motion. Maybe some people are getting full overhead, maybe some people are a little bit right here. It doesn't matter what your range of motion is. We're still going to be working that movement pattern. The range of motion, the strength is going to get better over time. I promise you. Just stay consistent at it. Keep working on it. It's going to happen. That's really the key with any fitness goal, any health goal, really. Just being consistent. You have a few bad days here and there, As long as you're continually making progress towards your goal or are motivated to reach your goal, it's gonna happen. We're done with that 45-second rest, that side step, and then we'll work on the lateral squat. You could put a chair in front of you for balance. Yeah, that is a great variation. Happy face. I also love using the chair to even just give a reference of, kind of how to get into that pattern. Also, you give a few tips that, I've used with my personal training clients that, seem to be pretty effective. I know it's a little bit harder doing this virtually because I can't see exactly what's going on and tailor cues to what I see. But at the same time, I feel pretty confident we could get you some variations to at least make this movement feel better. We're starting this next movement in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Sorry. Let's go one a little fast. We got side step the elbow. Out, in, out. Out, in, out, elbow. Out, in, out, elbow. Great job, everybody. Come on, keep it up. Going to require us a little bit of balance here on that single leg. Going to be switching sides. Out, in, out. Out, in, out. Good work, everybody. Really love this movement. So much going on here. A lot of great things for the body. Great core, hips, balance, footwork. What more could you ask for in a bodyweight workout? 3, 2, 1. That's how you do it. Lateral squat coming up. So here are some of my tips for going through this. First thing I like to do is to get a chair and is to relate this pattern to a squat. So squatting, sitting down, standing up. Lateral squat, you could try having one leg behind the chair. And the same thing, it's just like you're sitting in this chair, but with one leg. I'm leaning into the side. I know you can't really keep this straight leg. That's the only part that's a little bit different from the sitting variation compared to that, but still trying to mimic that squat variation in the lateral plane. Same thing, I like just sitting, kind of getting this pattern, just sitting with one leg that is essentially the same pattern. And after, that begins to feel more comfortable. So one thing I think kind of helps is to kind of just rock back side to side in this position. Not really going into the full motion. The same thing, this is another component of this exercise, loading into that hip side to side. So sometimes just kind of getting this rhythmic swing side to side can be pretty beneficial. And same thing, and now you're just kind of leaning over a little bit more. So you're just exaggerating that side to side motion. And one of my last tips, this might not work for everybody. Something that I found helps with some people, doesn't help for everybody. But figure I throw it out there. Sometimes this can be a lot of impact. Some of the things, like if you get pushed over to the side, and it's like you're trying to kind of catch yourself, kind of mimic it to a real world activity. Like you get pushed, like, oh wow, you're kind of bracing yourself, loading into this hip to kind of stabilize yourself. So maybe trying to relate it to real world situations, kind of take it out of the context of exercise, can sometimes help with the patterning. Same thing, I know I spent a little bit more time on that. We're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Same thing, getting that little bit of a rock side to side. And now I'm increasing the range of motion a little bit side to side. And same thing, hand position doesn't really matter too much. Pretty much any squat movement, for some reason I have a habit, hold my hands right here like I'm doing a goblet squat. Sometimes it kind of helps me, am I rotating too much to the side? I use my hands kind of as a visual point of reference. But same thing, if these are still feeling awkward, it's not feeling good, there's nothing wrong with repping out some body weight squats. You don't feel like you have to go with that variation. Still working these muscles in some very similar ways. We got 3, 2, 1, and done. Push-ups coming up next. Remember, we can go from the wall, from the floor, from a chair, from an elevated surface. There's so many different variations for push-ups. They're essentially limitless. Let's find the variation that works the best for us. So going from the wall going from the chair, going from your knees, doesn't matter to me. The closer you get the parallel to getting flat with the ground, the harder it's going to be. Or made even harder, have your feet elevated so it's not rotated this way, you're rotated that way, if that makes any sense. But anyways, starting push-ups on 3, 2, 1, let's go. Same thing, important to find. I gotta move this chair back or I'm gonna hit my head. Sorry. Same thing, find that variation. We got 45 seconds of push. Here we go, more than halfway there, 15 more seconds. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Great job with that one. Let's see. Oh, never mind, reading the same chat. All right, push-ups are done. We got alternating shoulder extension, then inchworm, and then one more time through, everybody. Stick with me here. Yeah, a drink if you need it, as always. Important to stay hydrated during the workout. Whew. All right. Alternating shoulder extension. Getting into the strong bent over position. As I find just by putting a hand on my knees. And alternating the arm swings. Starting 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Same thing, a few different ways you can modify this one. You can do a little bit of hold at the top. This can make this a little bit more muscularly demanding, or maybe you're just kind of getting into a rhythmic swinging motion. That's a great variation too. Can kind of help with the range of motion, kind of free things up and kind of let the body move the way it wants to. Or same thing, another great variation. Have the hands on the knees, have the forearm on the knees, whatever's more comfortable. You can go one arm at a time. You do 3 to 4 reps. Do 3 reps on the other side and then switch it up. We are done with that one. Great job, everybody. Inchworm coming up. I'm just showing the chair variation. My chair isn't even on the screen. That's great. So, same thing. I suggest if you don't have a stable chair, if you're worried about this thing falling, I put it up against a wall or something sturdy so it does not move. Same thing, you're going to be walking the toes out, kind of getting into a position where your core has to stabilize. You kind of hold yourself up, walk to the feet, back in. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Great job. And remember, if you're doing this from the wall, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to be pushing into the wall, walking the feet out, walking back in. It's going to be using that core. And same thing. You're going from the ground, same pattern, except it's going to be the hands moving instead of the feet. Still very similar no matter what way you do it. Different variations of the same movement pattern. Trying to make it accessible for all fitness levels. This is a fairly advanced move. No matter what variation you're going with for today's workout, it will still be challenging. And it's doing a lot of great things for the body, might I add. 3, 2, 1. Great job. 2 rounds down, 1 more to go. Come on, let's finish strong, everybody. 8 exercises, 45 seconds apiece. Let's do it. We got hinge coming up, hinge, deadlift, bending over. I don't care what you call it. It's all the same thing. And just trying to reach down to the ground while still being able to maintain the upper body posture. All this movement is coming from the hips. So you can see my spinal column does not change position. I'm just hinging through the hips. Just like when you're bending over in a chair, whatever it may be, mimicking this hinge pattern. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The same thing as you can see right here. I'm still in the same pattern when I put that leg up, still hinging at the hips, keeping that upper body neutral or in a neutral spine position. Really just kind of focusing on the lower body here. Great work, everybody. Come on, keep it up. We got 20 more seconds. You got this. Good work. Come on, 10 to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Really good job, everybody. Toe touch to fly. Also, I forgot to ask fourth. Let me know in the chat if any of those variations helped a little bit with the movement, or if there's anything else, or if you can maybe identify some issues why I was feeling a little bit unstable, maybe kind of custom tailor some instructions to help you out. But anyways, toe touch to fly coming up. Remember, finding that flat back stable position, reaching down towards the toes. But remember, you don't have to touch your toes. I don't even touch my toes with this one. I don't have that range of motion. I'm working within mine. I suggest you do the same. We got 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Reaching down. Same thing. Maybe you want to go pick up the pace a little bit with this one. It's the last round. Find that pace, find that intensity. Works for you. If you feel like you've gotten a lot of tank at this point, maybe you want to pick up the intensity. Same thing. Do what's comfortable for you. Don't force anything. But really, if you want that muscle growth, you're going to have to put yourself at a point where you're being challenged a little bit. You don't got to kill yourself, but you still got to bring yourself some challenge so your body is forced to adapt, forced to get stronger. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. I know I was skipping out on those last reps. You ever stand up too fast and your head goes a little bit fuzzy for a second there? That's kind of what happened to me. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to bend down, finish this move right now. I'm feeling good now, but hey, sometimes that happens. Just our chemicals rebalancing in our brain. Nothing to be too worried about unless it's happening, very consistently. But anyways, double pull to press. I'm going to be doing this from the knees again, just because it kind of helps me maintain a good pelvic posture, maintain a neutral spine, and really let the shoulders do all the work here. We're going to be going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Same thing. It doesn't really matter too much if you're going both at the same time. Maybe you want to alternate left over, then go right over. Do what feels comfortable. Really love this exercise. Feel this really good in the traps. And same thing, it's just a shoulder range motion. It's kind of neglected. Going diagonal across the body is an important range motion for our shoulder. Often pretty neglected. So it's a great thing. We're hitting it in this workout. I know I've been missing this from my movement patterns as well. So same thing, maybe you're not doing this workout for its weight loss components, but this still has a lot of value for your other goals. We are done with those. So I just wanted to highlight that. So I know this program is mainly weight loss specific. We're definitely burning a lot of calories here, keeping that heart rate elevated. Same thing, aerobic fitness. But even if you're not doing this for weight loss, that cardiovascular health can really reduce your risk of major disease. Important for your cardiopulmonary fitness and many other things. So even if this isn't the main component of your workout, which it definitely can be because it's pretty intense, but I just want to go say that still has this benefit, even if it does not align specifically with your goals, because we're hitting movement patterns, this, that, and the other thing. Sorry, got to rush. We're starting with the next movement. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Out and out to the knee. Out and out to the knee. I don't know why. I always get caught talking a little bit longer between this move. I don't know what it is. Something about those pull to press. I guess that gets me rambling. Good work, everybody. Out and out to the knee. And switch out and out. Out and out. Good work. Keep it up, everybody. 15 more seconds. When you're in the home stretch now, let's finish strong. Finish off this Friday morning right. Friday afternoon, maybe watching this Saturday. I don't know how you're watching it, where you're watching from, but we are here to help you out. Connected Community Health Sport, free body weight exercise program. Doing this 4 days a week right now, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, restreaming all day on Twitch. So if you're missing me live here Fridays at 7:30 a.m., you can catch me anytime from 8:30 to 12 o'clock at night. And then we're starting right again on Sunday. So never miss a stream here with us. Just hop on that Twitch. You'll probably catch one of our restreams. But lateral squats coming up again, or regular squats, whatever's feeling comfortable for you. Remember, might help get in a side-to-side rhythm motion, and then moving down into it. Here we go. Starting and go. Going side to side. Find that range motion. Or remember, doing those body weight squats. Great variation. I want to see message coming through in the chat. What? I'm really sorry for it. I did not know our Nightbot had the ability to say that. I think the rocking helped my brain on the lateral movements and never thought of moving the chair for the lateral variation, so tried that too. Awesome, I'm really glad to hear that. Same thing, I think Happy Face's variation of this can be very helpful too. So 3, 2, 1. I know you can't really see my body. The same thing, just kind of leaning to the side, but still kind of having that support from the upper body, as Happy Face mentioned, would be a great way to still be able to find stability and get in that pattern. I'm really glad that helped forth. Same thing, a lot of movement patterns, it's like, if it's not something you do consistently, there is kind of that, learning effect where your brain has to process this movement and figure it out before it becomes automatic. Same thing, I've been doing this type of pattern for a long time in my training, so it's starting to become more natural. I don't really have to think about it too much. The same thing, as you move in patterns repetitively, you're going to get that same automatic stage. But anyways, I'm rambling a little bit. We got push-ups in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Find that position, find that intensity that works for you. You got 30 seconds. Great job, everybody. Keep pushing through. This is a tough one to keep going for the whole 45 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Great job. And again, I apologize for the Nightbot. I don't know what it is with him and emojis, but we got to figure that out. Also, it kind of seems a little aggressive. He's calling you his evil twin for putting some emojis in there. Seems a little harsh. Anyways, we got 2 more moves. Got alternating shoulder press. Nightbot doesn't like mornings. Yeah, I guess he's not a morning person. Seems pretty angry here. He's been working that 24/7 shift. I don't think he's too happy lately. All right, alternating shoulder extension in that bent over position. Letting the arms alternate. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And same thing. You can put that hand on the knee. And same thing. Switch sides. Remember, it's going to be a little bit more muscular. Giving it a little 1-2 hold at the top. 1, 2. Or same thing, doing both with the hold. I'm going to do a little bit of a hold variation here. Was doing more of a kind of swing pattern the other times. Go work, everybody. Come on. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's how you do it. Really great job with that. Last move coming up. We got the inchworm. Just stick around because I got these fitness tips talking about movement patterns, workout programming outside of this program, of course, but also why we program and how it relates to this program specifically. If you want a little bit of information about that. But we got inchworms. So remember, if you're going from the floor, We're bending over, walking these hands out to a plank push-up position. Bringing the hands back. You're going from the chair. Same thing, but just moving the feet. Coming back. And same thing from the wall. So stay in position, walk the feet out, and come right back. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And we'll be going from the ground. Find that variation that works good for you. Not going to get a lot of reps here. The same thing, this movement does take a little bit longer to complete. Great work, everybody. Ten more seconds. Come on, finish strong. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm getting a bonus rep. I'm going over the time. And we are done. Really great job of that workout, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you got a good workout watching this live on your Friday morning or recorded at any other time in the day. Doesn't matter what time you're working out. You're still here showing up, watching this video, getting your mind and body right. That's what's important. I'm going to get a quick drink here while we're finishing this little cool down. Then we're going to get into the cool down of this exercise. Then we're getting to the cool down of the whole workout here. All right, so great workout today. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate the support as always. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Let's get our body cool down, bring that heart rate down, get into that recovery state. And I know you've all seen this one before. One of my favorites, little bit of dynamic stretching in the hip and the quad. Let's kind of letting this leg swing out. Or same thing, you can do it without the wall. I suggest getting the arms coordinated with the leg, kind of using your arms for balance. If you didn't realize that actually when we are running, that's why we swing our arms to control the rotation of our core so we can keep our momentum moving forward and help us balance. And if I take my arms out of the equation, so you can see I lose my balance relatively quickly. So when I kind of still lose my balance quickly. But definitely easier to maintain balance with that arm swing. Same thing, you go the other thing. Same pattern on the other side. Same thing, opposite arm coming up with that opposite leg. Or same thing. Same thing from the wall. Good work, everybody. Gonna do a few more swings here. Really get that leg cooled down. All right, great job with that. Now we got some self hugs. Always love doing these two. A little bit of dynamic stretching. You kind of just let the body loosen up. Not really static stretching is kind of those long holds, things that nature, which definitely do have their place. But, before I get into some of those type of movements, like in some dynamic cool downs, kind of just letting the body free itself. You get pretty restricted. We're doing a lot of shortening of the muscles during the workout. So now we're just kind of shaking things out a little bit, kind of just let my arms swing, let them be free. Try to pull them out of that pattern they were just doing. All right. Now we've shook out the shoulders. Now we're going to work on another little bit of a hip stretch. So this one, a little bit of a new one. We got a few variations of ways we can do this. One way, I think putting the leg on a chair, on a couch. So I'm going to use this chair here. But you can even do this from the ground. I'm going to actually move this down a little bit. So one way you can do it by putting the leg up on a chair. It's comfortable. Same thing, you kind of sink down into that hip. And we're not all getting the same range of motion. Maybe you're just going to be up here, leaning into that hip. That helps, a little bit of a rock forward. You're loading into that hip. stretching out that opposite side. Same thing if you're not going to do that from a chair. From a couch, you can still do the same stretch kind of from a little bit of a different variation. The same thing, you can still, personally, what I like to do is I kind of sit on my foot, since I know it isn't comfortable for everybody. And same thing, you can just kind of use your body weight to lean over that front leg to kind of, just how we're kind of doing it on the chair, leaning into that front leg to load up the quad, load up the ankle, stretch the calf out a little bit. Same thing, you can spend a few on each side using the chair. They're just kind of loading into the ankle, loading into the hip. I know my range of motion might look a little bit different than yours, but that's why we got to move in our own movement abilities, our own movement patterns. And then just getting a little bit of a stretch here to the legs, to the ankles. Same thing after doing a lot of squatting, a lot of hinging, a lot of lower body movements. Just wanting to spend some time here on the lower body. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, we can also do some quad stretches. There's going to be, pretend like you're kicking a soccer ball as light as you can. You can do this from a seated variation, or you can do this from the ground. Works just as well, sometimes even more effectively. And doing the same pattern except a little bit more gravity resistant. Same thing, shooting for about 10 each side. Then you're going to be switching. Good work, everybody. So I'm going to be finishing this cool down very shortly, and then we'll be talking a little bit about the movement patterns, about this fitness pillar for this week. All right. Great job. We're going to finish with one more stretch here. Moving this chair out of the way, and we're going to be going into this overhead stretch. Sometimes I like to kind of have a staggered stance, 1 foot forward. You're going to reach up wide to the sky like you're doing that morning stretch, like you're just getting out of bed. And same thing, bring it down, going to the other side. Try to really stretch it out, really get up as tall, as wide as you can. I feel a little bit of stretch from the calf too. Maybe that's because I don't have a good ankle range of motion that even this is a stretch for my calf. Same thing, just going to be alternating each side, give it a little bit of a 3-second stretch. I'll show it from the side. Just getting a little Swiss hands, leaning into that front leg a little bit. Just kind of arching the back, really kind of stretching to the core, stretching those back muscles out. Same thing, I'm going to do a few more reps here. And then we'll finish with some breathing. I'll talk to you a little bit about these fitness tips while you're finishing up with that breathing exercises. So we're going to do one more of these each side. All right, great job with that. Great workout, great cool down. Hope you're all feeling good. Let's finish up with some deep breathing. Like to think about this, breathing deep in through your nose and out through your mouth. Trying to blow out your mouth like you're blowing through a straw, trying to exhale longer than you're inhaling. Really making sure you're taking that deep breath into your nose, really expanding out the ribcage, expanding out the diaphragm, and pushing that air out to the body. I want you to do at least 10 breaths here while I make some few final comments and tell you a little bit about this fitness build. So where do I start? So much about fitness. Really always love this topic, obviously. But so let's start off with the stream, with the quote of the week. Same thing, I know you probably heard it throughout this week, but our quote is, if you haven't been criticized, or if you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked, try proving yourself and see what happens. I think this is a really important quote this week. Just because it's really easy to get down on yourself, be negative about our situation, our surroundings, where we're at in life. And, also seems to do is kind of make things worse, bring people down even more. Psychology studies have shown, that old saying, fake it till you make it. What you think, how you feel mentally can have some physical impacts or manifest themselves into real mental symptoms. If you're constantly down on yourself, you're going to actually start to feel very down on yourself. Or same thing, that kind of faking it till you make it. If, obviously you don't want to fake it, but it's better than, just, staying in that constant negative state. Try improving, be supportive of, the things that you do on a daily basis, being proud of what you're doing, being proud of the progress you're making, and seeing how being positive can kind of manifest itself in a more positive changes. So just a quick little thing about that quote, because I think it is so important, so easy to get down on yourself, especially in today's society when you got social media and things out there that, you got your comparing your physique, comparing your health, comparing how you look to, a very small portion or a very slim portion of people. I know I talked about this a while ago, but how it can be kind of intimidating. You scroll through Instagram, you see, these absolutely shredded guys and girls, and you're like, how am I ever going to get to that physique? Seems like every time I scroll down, I got some bodybuilder looking dude on my Instagram feed making me feel self-conscious about my physique. But, same thing, you also have to think about the reality that, that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment in your life to achieve, a physique like these bodybuilders and things have. And that, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to potentially the, 1% of the population. Our brains weren't, designed to compare ourselves to millions and millions of different people. We were really only comparing ourselves to the people in our tight-knit community before social media. So, if you didn't know any bodybuilders that were absolutely massive, you wouldn't really be too worried about comparing your physique to one because you'd never seen them in person. But it's just a quick thing about how social media can kind of alter your perception of, what is actual reality, reality is an expectations for body form, things like that. The expectation on social media, I think, is much different than what you see in person. But like I said, that's like the 1% of people. It's a cool quote, and it makes me think of one by Henry Ford about whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Yeah, that's a really good point. It really does come down to that mental determination. If you think you're not going to be able to do it, there's likely chance that you're not going to be able to do it. And same thing, if you think you can accomplish that, you're going to be a lot more likely to accomplish that goal. Yeah, I really love that quote. But now I'm going to start talking a little bit about the movement patterns. I was rambling about that a little bit. Tuesday, I was talking about meeting the recommended activity guidelines. Thursday with Adam, he was talking about how to program a quality warm-up. And now I'm going to be talking about programming your own workout. So, many things go into an effective program. How you program depends on your movement abilities, goals, time allotment, many other variables. Often to create a very individualized program, you might want the help of, a professional, or same thing coming to these streams, or we're structuring and programming the workouts for you. But same thing, I want to give you some basic tips for if you're programming your own workouts, because in reality, your goals might not align with this program. This program is mainly designed for weight loss. You can definitely still build muscle, burn calories, burn fat. And, there's a lot of aerobic benefits as well, which is really good for your overall health and reducing your likelihood of disease. But, maybe your main goal is strength training, or maybe you're training for a marathon, something like that. These are different goals, and, your training might consist of different things. So example for strength, if you're really trying to get strong, you're going to be using a lot heavier loads and a lot less reps, or we're doing a lot more reps with essentially no load besides our body weight. Where somebody that's really trying to get really strong and become a powerlifter or something like that, that program is going to be very different than one like this. So different goals going to require different programs. First thing to consider, obviously. But, where should you start of making your own workout routine? One place I'd start, as I kind of alluded to earlier in the stream, is that you should, unless you have a very specific sport or occupation that you're training for, you're going to want to have the basic human movements. And these are the squat, lunge, hinge, push, pull, core, and rotation. And they've been used to assess movement abilities and abnormalities all throughout the research in multiple different studies. And so we go through actually all of these movement patterns in our workout, believe it or not. But these are considered the basic human movements because they share similarities with activities in daily living, developmental skills in childhood, and they also respect our body's anatomical design. So our body was meant to create force, transfer force, stabilize forces across the body in a complex and coordinated manner. Even something as simple as just standing up for the first time is going to require a really complex interaction between our nerves, our muscles, to coordinate all these different parts in our body to achieve a task that we view as being simple. But we don't really understand, or we don't really, often consider how complex of a movement something as standing really is. Like I said, requires multiple joint coordination, controlling some parts, moving other parts. There's a lot that goes onto this. So, sorry. And so that's why even, to just give an example, something like the squat pattern, we view it as a relative simple. This is considered a basic human movement because when children are actually learning to stand for the first time, they're actually often getting into this deep squat position. They're seen, kind of bobbing up and down before they, figure out how to stand for the first time, and maybe they fall, but there's a learning process of coordinating the body. And it all essentially starts from trying to find a balance in this squat position before reaching. So it's almost a precursor to being able to move. And so these movement patterns of the squat, lunge, hinge, push, pull, they all have similarities to these developmental stages of movement, and also have similarities between those activities of daily living. Squatting, sitting, and standing up. Sitting and standing is considered to be the most physically demanding task of activities of daily living, and not being able to sit and stand without support has been seen to increase your risk of living a sedentary lifestyle and also having mobility impairments. So being unable to do this movement pattern has been associated with, not having, motor independence, especially for older adults who, might need help, getting around the house and things of that nature. Not being able to sit to stand really decreases, movement independency. And so that's why we incorporate a lot of these basic human movements. We incorporate all these basic movements in our workout because they relate to, activities of daily living. They respect our body's anatomical design. And, in our program, we're hitting these exercises in a way that improves aerobic fitness, stimulates weight loss, and can be performed in your home with no equipment. So in my opinion, what more could you ask for? But those are just kind of some basic tips. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into programming, but I think this is a great place to start incorporating these basic human movement patterns into your workout routine. Even if you don't get them all in one workout, I do personally suggest that you try to get all these movement patterns in one workout. But I know that's not always logical in your training schedule. So trying to hit all these movement patterns at least within your training week. Maybe you're splitting them half and half. Maybe you're working out 2 days a week. Whatever it may be, I think this is a great place to start when programming your workout is, hitting all these different movement patterns. And one thing one of my teachers actually mentioned to me at college, which I thought was very interesting and has actually helped me get to a lot of solutions in my, personal training career, is that sometimes you don't need to know exactly what's wrong to fix the problem that's working. Sometimes just bringing ourselves back to these movement patterns, incorporating these movement patterns in our exercise routine, and sometimes kind of fix the problem that's occurring. Maybe, some people are having some, hip issues and things like that. And, there could be multiple different variables of why the hip is not moving correctly, but sometimes just, getting the hip into a good hinge pattern, into a good squat pattern, into a good lunge pattern can facilitate a lot of these movements our body was designed to do, and kind of maybe pull us out of this, undesired movement pattern just by throwing a bunch of different stimulus that are needed for our body to move at the body. So I know I'm rambling a little bit there. So you can tell I'm a little passionate about the movement patterns and how people move. Something I feel is really important. I had dealt with a lot of injuries in the past, and a lot of it revolved around having asymmetries in my body from neglecting certain movement patterns, neglecting a lot of pulling patterns. I was doing a lot more pushing than pulling. Was messing up my shoulders a little bit, and sometimes just restoring myself to these fundamental movement patterns had a great benefit for me. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, but that's kind of the gist
of what I wanted to share as far as fitness programming your workout. Get that push pull. I know something we even break it down in a horizontal push and pull, horizontal and vertical push and pull. So pushing, overhead, pushing out in front, pulling out in front, pulling from an overhead position. So same thing, you can even break these down even more specific, but I think this is a great way to start on your fitness journey if you're looking to program your workouts yourself. But as always, we also do offer virtual and in-person personal training. If you want something a little bit more individualized, maybe you just want somebody to even, help you program a workout that you can do on your own, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you out. All you got to do is check. Let me throw it up. There you go, connectedchs.com. We got all of our previous workouts there. We do these blog posts also about fitness, about these topics of the week. They release every week. So same thing, if you want to hear more about fitness, a little bit more in depth, see the studies where we're getting this information from, check out our blog at connectedchs.com/blog. You find that on the homepage. But anyways, that's getting close to about all the time I have for today's stream. I hope you've all enjoyed yourself. I had a great time doing the stream this morning. Got a great workout. Talked a little bit about the movement patterns and starting our Friday morning off right. Hope you all enjoyed the workout. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes in case anybody has any comments, questions, concerns, etc. Thank you. Happy Face. Appreciate you being here as always. And it is my pleasure. Love hosting these workouts. Feels good. And same thing, I'm getting a good workout myself. I'll tell you what, if I wasn't doing this stream, I don't know if I would be exercising here at 7:30 a.m. Probably would have been sleeping, to be completely honest with you. So, hey, this workout program is just as beneficial for me as it is for you. And same thing, like I mentioned, we might all have different training goals. I don't usually train for aerobic. I do a lot more resistance training. I've been kind of doing a little bit more power, explosive moves. I'm not really training with anything specifically. I kind of just like that intensity of training. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck, or more for your time constraint. You can get a lot done in a short period of time doing more kind of power and energy system training. But enough about me, just pretty much saying that it's like, hey, this will work out. Even though it's not aligned to my training goals, it still has a lot of benefit for me, and I believe it can for you too. Yeah, thank you, Fourth. Appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you all have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to be signing out here in a second. The same thing, like I said, it's been a pleasure doing this workout with everybody here live and those watching recorded. It's really just part of the mission here at Connected CHS. We just want to make health and fitness more accessible, help everybody reach their health and fitness goals in an effective and efficient manner. And so I always say, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help you for free. We don't want your money. We just want to be able to help people in a variety of different ways through our free services. I know we have some paid services as well, because we do got to make a living, but same thing, we're not trying to pressure you into buying something or purchasing something. We have a ton of free resources, and I encourage you to check those out because we just want to make health and fitness accessible. But anyways, thank you all for being here again. Had a great stream. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Jacob signing out. If I can figure out how to sign out. There we go. Jacob signing out.